The penalty for bearing false witness is that you're to be burned alive. Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, current and ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question. Should or shouldn't you watch this? This is the medieval she said, he said, he said, he said film. The true story of a woman who defied a nation and made history.
Each man is to fight to the death.
Discover the unbelievable true story that is now the cinematic event of the year. Matt Damon.
Hell yeah. Of the year.
Jodie Comer and Ben Affleck.
I want him to answer for what he has done.
Critics rave. No one does it like Ridley Scott.
Let them go! Let them go! Let them go!
The Last Duel. Rated R. Experience it on the big screen October 15th. Tickets on sale now.
There you have it. Joining me today is reoccurring guest. I should have hit that button a little bit better, but I apologize. Joining me today is Brain Rap Barines, a.k.a. Up in the Air Cole, and Noble Gas Tribe.
No, you got to work on that second one.
I like Up in the Air.
Welcome to the show, gentlemen. This was Taylor's pick.
I like Bye Bye Barine better.
Yeah, that's good too.
I like Up in the Air Cole. It's fun. This was your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us?
What was the thought process behind this pick?
And then I'll get into the
It
details
was
of
on
it.
HBO Max. I saw the first 5 minutes of it, where they have the guy announcing the rules, saying that anyone using a scroll with magic spells on it will be sentenced to death if they, because that would be cheating.
Magic scrolls.
He says something like that. It's very quiet, but the guy who's announcing the rules has if anyone's using sorcery to win,
If anyone has a weapon,
and I was like, this is sick. And then they're getting fitted with armor, and I was like, well, this is also 3 hours long. I'm going to be way too distracted to watch this now.
So you purposely picked it for us to watch together.
Yep, to force me to watch it. Yep,
that's my problem.
without
Attention span.
any distractions.
I like it. Well, the description for this one, and this is from IMDb, and I think it's terrible. King Charles the Fourth, V1. Is that 4?
V1 is 6.
Sixth. One V is the fourth.
I don't know. I don't care. The 6th
Hey, we want to be accurate on this podcast, don't you?
You need to know what Rocky movie you're watching.
declares
Other
that
nations won't invite you on their podcast if you're not accurate in your information.
King Charles the Sixth declares that Knight Jean de Carouge settle his dispute with his squire by challenging him to a duel.
That's not what happens at all.
I know. Directed by Ridley Scott, director of such hits as G.I. Jane, 1492, A Good Year,
Who brings up 1492? That's the worst one you can associate it
and
with.
House of Gucci. Obviously he's done way cooler
He's done
movies,
too many
but-
movies, so they're just going to...
And
Judge.
also a dually type movie called The Duelist,
Yeah.
written by Nicole.
The one that's
back
set
in the
during
day.
the Napoleonic era.
Yeah, that was his
Yeah.
first film.
Yeah.
Also involved
say-
the word duel.
I was going to say, yeah, Spielberg's was The Duel, but I was like,
He did The Duelist.
yeah,
This was written by Nicole Holofcener.
Holofcener.
Screenplay by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They brought her in, and
To bring some sensitivity to some of the
that was wise.
So yeah, no, that would have been...
It was very wise of them.
That was smart of them, I agree.
She did the one where I swear she did the one where they're Julianne Moore and Annette Bening are married to each other as lesbians, and then Mark Ruffalo shows up.
Oh, the
as
kids are all right?
Foster dad. That one, I swear that was her.
Hilarious movie. And I didn't like it. But.
Really? Well, top billed stars are Matt Damon, Adam Driver. This is from IMDb. Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Jodie Comer. Comer?
Former.
I think
It's Comer.
I think it's Comer.
And Ben Afflecked.
Yeah, Ben.
He's not even top billed on the...
Blonde,
I guess because he had
Ben.
a
He's more
smaller
on
role. Yeah.
Yeah, supporting role.
Runtime of 2 hours and 32 minutes, rated R.
Yes.
Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says drama/history.
Yeah, sure.
And IMDb says action, drama, /history.
I wouldn't. I mean, it has action in it, but again, they seem to be like, if there's a gun shows up at any point, that's an action film.
Yeah. In one of my previous pods, I talk about the genres on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, and it's pretty funny. You should check it out. But I'm not going to do that right now. Speaking of IMDb, the rating is 7.4 out of 10 from 139,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, however, gives it 85% from 281 critic ratings and 81% from 100,000 plus audience ratings.
Well, it's definitely, it was way different than what I thought it was going to be. And I swear I saw the trailer about 100 times walking through the megaplex, seeing it on all those TVs. And I thought I knew what it was. And I mean, it sucked me in pretty good. I think the ratings.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have a great grasp, but I just thought it was. I mean, I guess the thing I was imagining wouldn't have been 3 hours long. So,
Yeah.
Well, 3 separate stories to tell.
Yeah.
I feel like I always give a shot to Ridley Scott. I mean, he's so good.
Unless it's Robin Hood, and then you just get bored halfway through.
See, that was actually going to bring up Robin Hood on how
I liked Robin
It's
Hood.
not good, but
It had so much better potential than what they wound up with.
Yeah, sure, but I always, he still did like the epic, historical
the
drama
swashbuckler
stuff to it.
Yeah,
The source wasn't material, just was not good.
Yeah.
I could see how a lot of people would be
The
frustrated.
downtime is just really confusing.
Well,
That's my only gripe.
At the time of this recording, you can stream this on HBO Max, is what we did. It was a 4K representation with Dolby Atmos.
Looked good.
Looked good.
Sounded
good.
really good.
Yeah. Even streaming it looked. We wanted to watch this on Blu-ray, but we weren't able to. Or if you choose the highest tier of our Patreon account, you'll have access to the Popcorn Priest permanent collection. Go to patreon.com/Popcorn Priest for details. All right, this is a new section. I don't even have an audio bit for it. And this is for you. I'm trying to give back to my guests as well as those who are listening. This is Popcorn Reviews the Reviews.
What does that mean?
I'm going to read a few reviews. That's all it is.
Oh, no. Well, maybe.
Jane M says, and I put this on here, and now I'm like, I feel sad that I was going to say anything about it, but I feel bad for Jane. She said she had a visceral reaction to the film. I could not finish watching it.
I think that's a valid.
But then she gave it 3 out of 5 stars, 3.5 out of 5 stars. But she couldn't finish watching it.
But it may be pretty intense given the subject matter to certain people, especially if it's a woman.
I agree.
It's kind of a
1,000%. Another review.
It's like
from
United 93, where you can only get so much enjoyment out of tragedy at certain points.
Yeah. Horror Flick Fanatic says, not that good. He said, this film seems overrated to me. Sure, Ridley Scott is a good director and it shows in the film, but the old English dialogue in medieval France with modern ideals just didn't jive for me.
Yeah, because if it had been
The
in
film
French, it
never
would've
felt
just
like
done-
the 1300s. I'm like, yeah, it did.
Yeah, it felt
did.
very unpleasant. It felt like
Very
It
unpleasant.
felt like an alien world. The concerns of the characters were different than us, like in terms of standing and social. Their belief systems, their whole conception of the world does come across as very alien and very medieval.
Yeah.
What I kind of love is the way they did it perfectly, because the first 2 stories, it tells you the 2 sides, and then you get to see like the actual perceived victim and like everything that's at stake for her. And then it kind of hammers it home, like, this is our crazy belief system and this is how we're going to do it. And if, you're wrong through no fault of your own, you're going to suffer unspeakable torture. And it's great. It makes you feel really kind of helpless and like the effort it took to come forward, even in such a crazy time period.
I don't know if it's a spoiler, but this is told through 3 different lenses.
I didn't know that.
3-part,
So,
I know.
I'd say that's a spoiler because I didn't know it.
Oh, well.
I mean, it's not a spoiler because it doesn't really. Yeah, but
It's just 3 chapters. It's just told from 3 different points of view. So you
Which
get
is
the
very
whole-
cool.
Yeah,
that's very well
Very,
done.
very good. Jay DeSando says, epic and enjoyable. A perfect date at the cinema.
I don't know about that.
No, he gives us a 9 out of 10. This is not a perfect date at the cinema.
Yeah, no.
This isn't a date movie.
And I
It's
don't know if
gotta-
he's saying date like save the date or take a date.
No,
to.
I'm pretty sure he meant like bring somebody with.
Unless he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, I don't know. 9 out of 10 from Jay DeSando. The last review, or 2 reviews, are Ridley Scott is the master of this genre for a reason.
I mean,
Says,
he doesn't. He seems to be like one of the only people who makes those movies.
Roland Emmerich.
Emmerich 2710. After Good Will Hunting, I was shocked why Ben Affleck and Matt Damon didn't write any screenplays together. Well, our wait is over because they have done a brave move. But this time it doesn't have that Hollywood storytelling vibe on it. This time it is more experimental and different. They went for a new storytelling wave, 9 out of 10. And the last one is 152 minutes of badly mansplained history from Uncle Tantra.
There's not really much history in it at all. Like, I mean, other than it's a historical era, but
and they say a few dates. So this brings us to the next section of this podcast. The best part of this podcast is
lunch.
Should or shouldn't you watch this? And because I hadn't seen this, we're gonna have to come up with 5 reasons. We've done this before, and Lamb, which, geez,
Best movie ever is what you mean.
what are some reasons why you should watch this?
Matt Damon should have been at least nominated for an Oscar. He was very good in this movie.
Yeah, he's very different.
Some people criticized his like pouty stance.
I mean,
that was awesome.
I 100% buy that as a guy that would have existed then. Like, just he's illiterate. He's not very smart.
You're relying on God to reward you for everything, and then when it doesn't happen, you think God forsakes you, and then you just feel hopeless.
His conceptions of honor is the only like worldview he has. Like he makes perfect sense.
I liked all the acting.
I mean,
I like Ben Affleck's. I like the King. I like all the different.
Yeah, the King's great.
It's awesome. She did an amazing job.
Yeah, no, she was really good.
No, that's like
3 different ways.
Yeah, I would say as far as the acting goes, it's all good.
All 3, yeah, they chose 3 really good. I hate Adam Driver normally.
Yeah,
like
Jodie
usually seems the same.
Yeah,
it was great.
But all of them were really
Cole
good.
was criticizing because she was a new guy, and that was not a movie I liked. But it did not.
Yeah, why
didn't even
criticize Jodie? She's
didn't even come across.
just trying to get some money.
No,
Yeah, I know, right? And look at how well that went. She probably
I bet she got tons of money.
Her online self and her real self in that movie are just so. I hate that movie.
So we've got acting is amazing.
The period work
design is amazing.
Yeah, the
like
period work.
It's like Gladiator Part 2.
Again,
basically,
it feels like you are in a different world. Like there's painstaking.
The
like,
production,
like
it's
amazing.
Production
That's
values. For
what
sure.
kills me about Gods and what was it? Gods of Egypt. Whereas like he put all his time and effort into it, but then the story just wound up being like it just felt so flat, and you're just kind of like
Well, and you brought this up while we're watching this, Cole. Is that this might be the end of
because
this
it
kind
did
of
so
movie.
poorly.
I
mean.
Well,
I hope
they'll
not.
do it. It just won't be this big of a budget next time they do it. It's going to be
because like the
Northman,
Northman, came out and that. But I don't think that movie cost nearly as much as this. So, like they'll still, I just think that, this type of production is probably going to be too prohibitive and they'll just look at the track record. Then again, I don't know, Ridley Scott's making that Napoleon movie. So I don't know.
I can't believe it. This guy's 80 years old.
That's the other, I guess that's the other reason we're lucky though, is he's got so much other crap that he does and his production company's so big. I mean, I'm sure he'll keep making them even though he keeps losing money.
So I would say Ridley Scott is another good reason. Another good reason for me would be the storytelling.
Yeah,
the way
you're
it's
invested
told
in it in a way that I was not expecting. Like, because especially like early on, where I, like saying like how they come across as alien, their concerns are not my concerns, and you don't. I certainly didn't like any of them.
And I've seen a lot of.
But like towards the end, you are invested in it.
Yeah.
You want to see how it plays out.
Well, and I've seen a lot of 2.5-hour movies, and the pacing was very good.
Oh no, the pacing was excellent because they don't rehash. I mean, it tells the same story 3 times, but there's a new angle every time, so you're not seeing the same thing 3.
And you're
the
like
way that it does it
waiting
is,
for another scene.
You're looking for how things will be different in the different ways that it's told.
Something she does is perceived totally different by 2 different people, and it's interesting to see like how it all fits together towards the end. Like you originally start off you're not sure who to hate or who you're rooting for, and then towards the end of it, it's just kind of you really get invested into what's going to happen to all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Even though you hate all of them.
I mean, they're all kind of,
Except for Jodie. We don't hate
Yeah,
Jodie.
she doesn't.
She's the best.
She's stuck
What's
in
her
a
name?
shitty-
Marguerite?
Yeah,
Lady Marguerite. Oh, I can tell you a reason why not to watch this
Yep.
is the accents.
I was going to say the sexual.
Well, I guess I should reframe it. You should watch this if you enjoy not hearing barely any French from.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say she's actually.
It's
English.
funny they speak German at that one point, so like to prove how like well read they are, and it's funny.
Yeah. It's,
And then Latin too.
any other reasons why I'm missing before we get into by the numbers?
What? Now watch it? Yeah.
No, why you should watch it.
Oh, okay. It's
really?
It's pretty good, man.
It's pretty good. But I would say the caveat is there's some scenes that are, if you're not,
Yeah, they're not pleasant to see.
Shouldn't we say this for why you shouldn't watch this?
That's what I thought we were talking about.
well, that's not a category. It's should or
okay.
shouldn't you? There's
It's
the
like,
joke.
I would say, if that's going to bother you, do not. It's not.
It could be
If you're triggered, then yes, you're going to see a very horrible scene.
Twice. Oh, the worse the second time.
Oh yeah, no, the second time
It's
it's
just,
it's all
yeah, it just
all
it gets
bad.
worse and worse until the end. But that's what I
hate
mean.
I hate to end down a downer, but that's
yeah, I mean,
just
the
part of
plot kind of resolves around that
yeah.
whole event anyway. And it doesn't. Yeah.
All right, well,
For God's sakes, just give me the damn number!
all right. What do you guys guess the budget was?
100 million.
180.
It was 100 exactly. And what do you think it made?
20
Oh,
million.
it was like $48 million.
The research I did was 30, which seems even more dismal than 40.
a bummer, man.
No, you're probably right because it was. I mean, like with Tenet and all the other films right at this time.
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was. Yeah, the odds were not with it. And then again, also just kind of the difficulty of marketing it, even if like things were well. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a couple of
Long like historical drama. That's not.
In this category, I have a couple of things about the budget and about COVID-19 and what happened to the production. But one thing,
Did it affect the production?
yeah,
Yeah,
one
just stop.
thing that is a number is the last duel of the title took 2 months to choreograph and 2 weeks to film. And here's the thing. During the suspension of filming due to COVID-19, Adam Driver was cast in Ridley Scott's next film, House of Gucci. And the two reunited to begin shooting their second movie together only 4 months after the completion of this film. And one of 2021's most notorious flops. This only earned $9 million on its opening weekend against a budget of $100 million, which we already said. Scott took issue with this in a later interview.
Oh, yeah, he made a bunch
citing
of
modern audiences' lack of interest in intellectual films over comic book films.
He really should have just admitted that he made a movie that was not going to be like a blockbuster. Because it's not that kind of movie.
So he kind of blamed Disney. He blamed a bunch.
Well, the same thing happened with Gods of Egypt, though. I mean, that lost a ton of money because people weren't. It was around the same time as the Peanuts movie and something else, and it didn't make back
How does
nearly
he
what
keep
they spent.
getting, like-
It's because it's his production company. Like he's got so much money that he can like easily.
Yeah,
finance
I
projects.
think he's just got enough clout that he can.
They produce a ton of television shows.
established enough that he can do it.
Interesting.
It's like the Coen brothers or Quentin Tarantino.
Plus, with Hollywood magic, they never pay any taxes.
What a
anyways.
crazy movie to pitch in this time of the world.
Well, I think that's why it got made. Like, I certainly think that.
I know it's relevant, but I
Yeah.
mean, just the scale and
Oh, yeah.
like, it could be offensive. It could not be offensive. It could be heralding it. It could be not. Like, there's so much. People could take it so many different ways, and it just seems like, man, that's a risk. Very high risk.
Well, but
Yeah,
everything in
I would say
Hollywood-
that you describe that movie to someone like an investor, and they're like, "So you're gonna make a movie centered around a medieval duel that was over rape, and you're wanting audiences to go and be eager to go see that."
And you want $100 million?
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a harder sell.
Yeah.
I feel like if it did not have the people attached to it, it probably wouldn't have been made. Seems like kind of a passion project for someone. I don't know who, but
Yeah.
someone wanted this made more than.
Well, some more numbers. Alex Lothar was 25 when he played King Charles VI, who was actually 18 when the events depicted took place.
He's great, by the
He's
way.
great.
He looks like this just person who couldn't lift like a pencil without breaking his arm.
It's kind of like Joffrey, but minus the evilness.
Yeah,
he just wants
kind
to
of-
watch people die because it's fun.
Yeah, he's just got that he's all thin and doesn't seem.
He's appointed by God. So he can do whatever he
completely-
wants.
can't
completely
imagine having
ensconced
a
and
Keen that's like a teenager.
it's
Yeah, but
crazy.
at the same time, your whole universe consists
Yeah,
of
it's
shoveling
just
horse
divine-
dung into
divi-
a wooden cart. and
divine
baking
rights,
bread to
man.
survive. You
Divine
don't
right
have-
of kings,
Yeah,
man.
there's ain't much going on in life to begin with.
those traditions die hard.
Yeah. Couple more numbers.
It took how many more years before they're like, no, we're done. We're done with this.
Yeah, we're done.
500 years
Everything's
after
going to be
that.
World War II.
I mean, there's a reason why it's called The Last Duel.
Yeah.
First of two films that the then 84-year-old Ridley Scott made in 2021 in the midst of a global pandemic.
And even House of Gucci didn't make that much money back.
Yeah. And it was released a month later,
I've heard that one's bad.
and it's not good.
Yeah.
My buddy
I heard
went
it was
and saw
good.
It was not
just
good.
I heard it was good. It was just Jared Leto ruins it because
Well-
it's over the top.
I heard the whole movie was over the top, and you could only enjoy it for like camp value. But I don't know. It's not that movie I'd want to see anyway. So
I know. I forgot about it. I remember seeing about the first 20 minutes of it, and I could care less
this
about
one-
going back to it.
yeah, no,
No, this one just keeps sucking you in the more it goes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it does a good job.
Yeah. Here's some numbers about ages. Okay. Matt Damon is 23 years older in real life than Jodie, who plays his romantic interest in the movie.
That's a fun
Wasn't
way.
Matt
That's a
Damon,
fun
like,
way of
52 or something?
describing the political arrangement that their marriage is.
Well,
Love
contrasting that,
interest.
Jean de Carouge was born in the 1330s, and Marguerite de Carouge was born in 1362. They married in 1380. Thus, Marguerite was,
He was
18 at her wedding, and Jean was more or less 45.
Wow.
That sounds that sounds like
Awful.
That's the world of that. No, it makes sense
And Jean de Carouge and Jacques de Legris.
because it was a second marriage. Remember,
Legris?
he mentions
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's right. They talk about it as
Because
wife and son.
it died.
They were about the same age and were both squires and eventually knights, but at the time of the duel, Carouge had participated in many more battles than Legris. Thus, it can be surmised that he had better
no,
fighting.
That was what I was thinking.
They portrayed it really well, too.
That's
Like,
what you were
I
saying,
was
Taylor.
like, he seems to get out and like do dirt a lot more frequently than this guy who does
Who just-
goes to like bacchanal,
That's what I mean.
like
He just, like, being a
hedonism
pretty boy.
parties with his
Yeah,
friend
dude.
and does like accounting.
he lost focus to God.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about before we part ways and come back next week for the spoilery? Well, more spoilers than we've already given.
It's a long movie, but it doesn't feel like it. It goes
No.
right. It paced well. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it. At this point, there may be some spoilers up ahead, so if you want to watch and then come back next week and join us for a breakdown of The Last Duel from 2021. I'm on the social medias. I dare you to message the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I love movies and would love it if you'd share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. Another way to support the show is by throwing a few shekels at the priest. Visit patreon.com/Popcorn Priest and see what extra perks you can enjoy. Lastly, the easiest way to support the show and the most free is like and subscribe. And give us
just to love.
Give us a 5-star review. Easier than starting your car. As always, thanks for listening. And thanks to my guests, Brain Wrap Marines and Noble Gas Tribe. Always a pleasure. Join us next week for part 2 of El Último Duelo. That's Spanish for the last duel.
My car is pretty easy to start. All I have to do is get inside.
That's what I'm saying. It's a button. Just go push a button and
I don't even have to push a button. I just have to pull the handle, and then it'll just go.
yeah. It's as easy as starting a Tesla. Go give us a 5-star review. We'll see you guys next week.